Okay, since I'm in the zone after my AB shootout, I figured I'd do another quick video, short take video on this thing. The I'm gonna say it wrong, so don't send me hate. Devialet, made in France, Expert Pro 200 integrated amplifier that does everything. So this, if you can believe it, that this shiny, squarish looking box that doesn't really weigh a whole lot, this thing's $10,000. This thing's $10,000, right? Can you believe it? $10,000. But when I tell you what this thing does, aside from, it's a good mirror, it's kind of cool. You can maybe serve drinks on this thing. But this $10,000 piece, which I bought used for a fraction, I was very lucky to get this at a crazy price. This is a 220 watt Class D amp. It also has a Class A, and I don't know how they integrated into it, but it's Class A, which then feeds into a Class D. So it does get a little warm. You won't burn yourself, but it does get a little warm. I've named it Frenchie because it's French, and I know that's lame, but I don't care. So Frenchie was the amp we used for the shootout. You can see the speakers projected nicely onto Frenchie. This thing got warm, especially because of the Morel speakers really need a lot of power. So it got a little toasty. So let's talk more about this very cool all-in-one piece. So we talked about the amplifier, 220 watts times 2. It's a streamer. It's a DAC. It is beautifully made. And it comes with this extremely cool remote control. That's the remote. Look how neat that is, right? It's as quirky as it can be. It's completely user definable, and it's a pain in the butt to do. And I wish they had done it differently. But you take an SD card, put it into your computer, and if you're lucky enough to have an SD slot for an old SD card, which I didn't have to buy, I had to buy a converter, you go to the website and you can configure this thing. It's got a whole slew of ports, and you can make them anything you want them to be. So you've got all these RCAs. You can make the first one into a phono. So this is a phono pre. You can make it into a line level in. You can assign this like line level 1, line level 2, whatever you want it to be. These are digital, and it can be digital in, it can be digital out. They can both be in, both be out. And really, it's amazing. You can figure this any way you want. Very well done. And then standard binding posts over here. There's a couple of opticals. I think what's cool about this is, I guess this is what they call a lifestyle product. If you had a beautiful house on the ocean and you wanted a single box with your speakers and have it all in one for $10,000, if you got a lot of money, why not? It's quite a lovely product. How does it sound? It sounds great. It's way better than half those Class Ds that we see on the market. I'm talking about, the Hypex, the Purifies, even my Buckeyes. This is a way, it's a big step above the standard Class D, which run a little sterile at times. This does not. This sounds very refined, very fast. It's a tremendous amp. Was it worth $10,000? Not for me. I wouldn't spend 10 grand. But if you have the money and you want an all-in-one piece that really delivers, this does it. It does a great job. The internal DAC is very good. I thought it sounded better when I used my Hugo TT2 externally. One of the problems, though, your external DAC goes in, analog in, it converts it to digital. Everything that comes into this goes into digital. So are you adding something to the signal path? I suppose. It's done so well you would never know. So I wouldn't let that deter you from using this with analog in, going into digital, and then analog out. It didn't matter. It sounded great. What else can I say about this piece? It's just really cool. And if you can get a good price, and I've seen these on the used market for $2,600, $3,000, I think it's a really great product. If you don't have a lot of space and you want like an all-in-one cool piece, of course you have to clean it because fingerprints, right? Or you can hang it on the wall. It's got little, you can put screws in and just hang it on the wall. Put it away somewhere, and then you have this on your desk, and you've got a great system. All right, so the negatives of this thing, and certainly not the sound. The sound is fantastic, but the negatives, The remote control does not have a volume indicator, and this thing has a tiny little window right here, and that's your display. So you won't know what the volume is. You can't tell. That's annoying. I love to know what the volume is. There is a way around that. Get a Mac Mini, install the volume control software, and leave the Mac Mini running. And it will show you whatever volume you set with this. And it's pretty responsive. So that's a cool little hack if you want to see the volume control. Other thoughts on this device? I think it's the real deal. I mean, this is a legitimate high-end stereo system all in one box. And I guess if you count the price of the streamer, the DAC, digital preamp, and 220 watt, very well made Class D, you could almost add it up to 10 grand, but I think it's a great product. So there you go. That's my short take on the Devialet Expert Pro 200. I hope you guys didn't find this video completely useless. Have a great day. A quick correction. On my video, I said Mac Mini. No, you want to get an iPad Mini. This is the Devialet software. Of course, it's spinning out of control because the Frenchie's turned off. But this will give you a beautiful view of the volume, and you put this anywhere on your rack, whatever, leave it plugged in, doesn't matter. Or you can use this to control the volume and do everything. So there you go.